Hi guys, and welcome again to SmartPrep. Today we are going to be doing our NBT AQL preparation. If you are here looking for NBT maths preparation, you are in the right place. Yeah, you're just not on the right video. So I will post a link in the description below and in the comments to our NBT maths playlist. But yeah, we are going to be continuing with our AQL portion and specifically text and comprehension. Thanks again to those of you who have joined up as members. Ayobulela, Birgit, Cami, Ethan, GM, Quincy, Asia, Kyle, The King, Laganipo, Letlotlo, Gundo, Daniel, Mosolekwa, Oreo, and Ndipiwa signing up in the last week. We really appreciate you guys. Our member list is there below. If you see your name there, thank you very, very much. You guys are keeping us going, and we are going to be, we've ordered some new microphones, and we're going to be doing some other exciting things on the channel. So yeah, all of our money that we get from the members, that is just going through to help improve our channel. So thanks very much. And if you are new here, please subscribe and like this video, comment, and all that good stuff. And we will keep doing what we do. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so part E, text and comprehension. If you are looking for the parts that came before that, as I said, if you're new here, I'll post a link to the playlist with these. So part E, just so that you are aware, is the lion's share of your AQL marks. So this is very important. I'm going to be doing quite a lot of reading here. If you would like to get hold of these past papers, I'll also put a link in the description where you can get hold of these. What I've found from a lot of people is they didn't find the English too bad, although they didn't finish in time because there's a bit of time pressure. So if you can do as many of the past papers, they do repeat themselves. So if you've done the past papers, you may not have to read through a couple of times, because if it's a text that you've already seen, that's just going to save you more time and increase your chances of getting a great mark for your MBTs. Yeah, we normally would read this a couple of times, but I'm just going to read through this once, and if you want to go through it again, you can in your own time. Just pause, rewind. Okay, so manufacturing ultra capacitors. An Estonian firm gives electricity storage more oomph. Okay. If you do not read scientific journals, you may not be aware of reports of new electricity storage devices that have recently been invented. Yet, almost every week brings reports of new kinds of batteries and capacitors being invented in laboratories all around the world. The journey from benchtop to assembly line, though, is fraught with hazard, so only a very few of these ideas end up as products able to withstand the rough and tumble of industrial and consumer use. Fewer still hail from beyond the laboratories of North America, Western Europe, and Japan. There is now one exception, though, an ultracapacitor developed and manufactured in Estonia. But the pleasant surprise surrounding its geographical origin is not only but the pleasant surprise surrounding its geographical origin is not the only excitement this new device brings. In order to appreciate the excitement about new capacitors, one must first understand what makes these artifacts different from batteries. Unlike batteries, which store energy chemically by swirling it away in the materials of their electrodes, capacitors store it physically as static electricity. In capacitors, the static electricity clings to the surfaces of their equivalent electrodes, which are known as plates. This static can be tapped or added to more swiftly than any chemical reaction can manage. That means capacitors both store and discharge electricity more rapidly than batteries do, making them ideal for delivering short bursts of power. But they cannot accommodate nearly as much energy as batteries, so they soon run out of them. Supercapacitors and their upscale cousins, ultracapacitors, attempt to bridge this gap by increasing the surface areas of their plates and also by adding an electrolyte of the sort found in batteries. The new device from Estonia does these things. It can deliver 4 times more power per kilogram than anything else on the market. Its secret is that its plates are coated with graphene, a form of carbon, a single atom thick. By inserting pores into the graphene, using silicon carbide and titanium carbide, they allow ions to pass through to the electrolyte more efficiently. Before this new device, the factory in Estonia produced a limited number of ultracapacitors for motor racing. In this instance, they are used in kinetic energy recovery systems, KERS, that recycle energy which would otherwise be lost as heat during braking and turn it into electricity to assist acceleration. Another early customer was the European Space Agency. It uses ultracapacitors to handle peak power demand in its satellites, such as when they are moving the arms of their solar panels. Not only are the ultracapacitors more efficient than lithium-ion batteries at harvesting energy from solar panels, they are also lighter, smaller, and have a longer life, up to 1 million cycles of charging and discharging. In fact, a lithium-ion battery fades after about 1,000 cycles. Back on Earth, the company is now working with vehicle makers for example, to fit KERS in diesel-powered lorries. There are claims that this provides fuel savings of 25%. Similar arrangements would work well on trains and also on dockside cranes, providing spurts of power when goods need to be lifted and recovering energy when they are lowered again. With new investment, the company went into full production in April when it opened a new factory near Tallinn, Estonia's capital. This factory is capable of turning out 500,000 of the devices a year. Next February, if all goes well, a second plant near Dresden, Germany will take the company's combined output to 5 million a year. At the moment, then, the Estonian ultracapacitor seems the bee's knees. How long will this last depends on when the next big idea makes it from the lab to the world. Okay, so now we get our questions. All right. The word oomph in the subtitle is a less formal term, a similar one meaning the same name, right? So oomph is less formal than vim, right? A little bit of, if we go back to the paragraph there, let's just do it quickly. Where was it? Vim. It soon's run out of vim. Runs out of oomph. Makes sense. So that would be B. Okay. So let's change that to, let's do yellow so we can see it. So that would be B. Okay, the electricity storage referred to in the subtitle refers in paragraph 1 in particular to storing electricity in newly invented devices, new industrial products, capacitors and batteries, or novel consumer products. Electricity storage referred to in paragraph 1 was capacitors and batteries. All right, as I say, if you note, you can see there that was ultracapacitors there, and talked about batteries and capacitors, right? So, as I said, if you've read it, You shouldn't be too tricky. The implications of the first sentence of paragraph 1 is that if you are in North America, Western Europe, or Japan, you would certainly not know about capacitors. That is not true. Why would you not know? The product ever reach product the product ever reaches if the product ever reaches the manufacturing stage, it would survive untold risks and hazards. No, that didn't say anything about that. If you are not exceptional, as Estonia now seems to be, the news would most probably have passed you by. Don't remember reading anything about that. Part of your regular reading is not scientific journals. Ignorance of new storage inventions is the result. Yes, because they said if you have not read a journal, so that was the first line, wasn't it? If you do not read scientific journals, you may not be aware of reports. Okay. The word yet at the beginning of the second sentence indicates that the author is going to make a claim that will show another possibility. That sounds like it could be true. Is skeptical about a claim that he or she is about to make. Why would you say yet? Wants to give us an indication that there is a similar case, possibly, may not believe the initial claim that he or she has made. Okay, so let's just look, second sentence, just to confirm. Yet almost every week brings reports of new kinds of batteries and capacities being invented in laboratories. Yet almost every week brings reports of new kinds of batteries and capacitors being invented in laboratories around the world. Okay, so let's get back to that. Yes, yet is going to make a claim that will show another possibility. Yeah, that's true, yet. Because it showed the other possibility, which was that more inventions, right? Let's read that again. New kinds of batteries and capacitors. Yeah, so that was the claim. It was bringing together the claim that would show the possibility of new batteries and capacitors. All right, the phrase journey from the bench top to assembly line is echoed in the phrase used later, namely squirreling it away in paragraph 2. No, that was talking about getting energy squirreled away. Produced ultra capacitors in paragraph 4. Seems the bee's knees are something really great. No. From the lab to the world, yes, that makes sense, right? Bench top, right, to assembly line. So it's from one place to another. So from lab to the world makes perfect sense. All right. The word bench top in the sentence 3 of paragraph refers to labs, capacitors, batteries, no, laboratories, right? It's going to be laboratories. The kids, not the capacitors, the batteries, or reports. So we saw that anyway. That sort of tied in with 35, actually. Okay, the phrase fraught with hazard in sentence 3 of the first paragraph means, okay, fraught with hazard, there's risk, right? So let's look at these. So caught up in a net, no. Close to impossible, no. Charged with risk, right? Fraught with hazard, yes, there's a risk or hazard. Okay, so that would be C. Okay. The phrase fraught with hazard in paragraph 1 is further explained in the sentences in the same paragraph following the phrase in one of the subsequent few. Withstand the rough and tumble. Fewer still hail from beyond. There is now one exception, though, and the surprise surrounding its origin. Okay, so fraught with hazard is explained. How is that explained? Okay. Fewer still hail from beyond. Okay. I'm thinking it's A. Okay. Few withstand the rough and tumble. So I think it's that, but let's just check B. Fewer still hail from beyond. No. That doesn't explain that statement more. Because rough and tumble would imply sort of hazardous, right? There's now one exception. No, it doesn't make any sense. The surprise surrounding it, no. Okay, so it's going to be A, rough and tumble, fraught with hazard. Withstand the rough and tumble. Okay, let's look at the next one. A synonym for the word though in the third as well as in the penultimate sentence of paragraph 1 is, okay, although, though, no, not so. I would have said although, right? But although, however, right? Nonetheless, notwithstanding, however, is the correct one. Though, however, it's a synonym, right? Okay. The word these in the phrase these ideas in paragraph 1 refers to the assembly line producing the invention, inventions reported on in the journals. Oh, okay, that's going to be B, right? Benchtops in which they were born. Nope. And hazardous journey from lab to product. Okay, so we think that it's the assembly line. That was at paragraph 1, and let's just check. Journey. So these very few of these ideas. Yet almost every week, there's new reports of new inventions, the journeys are similar. So very few of these ideas end up as products. Okay, very few of these ideas end up as products. Okay. So that's going to be inventions, right? These ideas, right? That's referred to as ideas. So those would be the inventions or the ideas, right? Okay, not the assembly line, not the bench tops, and not the hazardous. No. Okay. All right. So, uh, how many more should we do before we take a break? I'm going to do 2 more, and then, well, let's see. Let's just see how many there are. It's normally about 50 of these. Okay, so we'll do a few more, and then we'll take a little break. Okay, which of the new inventions referred to in paragraph 1 are scarcer? Those we do not read about except in scientific journals, those whose designs never reach the manufacturing stage, the ones that originate in laboratories in the Western world, the ones conceived of in the labs outside the Western world. Okay, so we think that it's going to be D. Yes, because they talked about only Estonia, right, was outside, they talked about outside the Western world. The rest were all from the US. And I think they mentioned Japan, Europe. We'll go back to that just now. Okay, go back to the paragraph. Okay, let's look at the next one. The phrase developed and manufactured in the penultimate sentence of which is paragraph 1 echoes another one in the same paragraph, devices. Okay, the phrase developed and manufactured in the penultimate sentence of which is paragraph 1 echoes another one in the same paragraph, devices. Okay. Reports of new electricity storage, the new kinds of batteries and capacitors, from benchtop to assembly line, and the rough and tumble of industrial use. Okay, let's see that now. Okay, so penultimate means the second to last. Okay, so the phrase developed and manufactured. I'm looking and seeing one, two, three semicolons. Sorry, inverted commas. So a little bit tricky, this one. Okay. Um, okay, so penultimate. So we can look at this one. There's now one exception, though, the ultra capacitor developed and manufactured in Estonia. Okay, but pleasant surprise surrounding is okay. So we're talking about the exception, which is an ultra capacitor. All right. So only a few of the only a few of these ideas end up as products able to withstand. Okay. So now let's go down. Benchtop to what with hazard. Okay. Okay. Developed and manufactured. Okay. So it's developed and manufactured is is going to not be then reports of new electricity storage. So it's not that. New kinds of batteries, no. Uh, from benchtop to assembly line, developed and manufactured from benchtop to assembly line. Yeah. Okay. So developed and manufactured. Yeah. So developed from the bench. Yeah. So developed would have been from the bench, and manufactured would it be the top to the assembly. So bench top is the developed. You develop something on the bench, and then you go and then you take it to manufacture it. So that would be the manufacturing on the assembly line. So that would be C. Okay, that was a bit of a tricky one. The exceptional device referred to in the penultimate sentence of paragraph 1 is discussed in greater detail in paragraph. Okay, so this would be exceptional device referred to in the penultimate. So, okay, so that was that ultra capacitor, right? That was the ultra capacitor. So where is that discussed further? Was it two? I feel like it was two or three. There we go. Okay. Yes. So in paragraph 3, they talk about the new device from Estonia and delivering 4 times more power. So that would be paragraph 3. Okay. All right. Guys, these do take a little bit of time. You may, so the videos, sorry about it, they are a bit longer than normal on, especially on this section. If you want to, you can obviously just get hold of these past papers and work through quicker on your own. If you do find that it's easier to sort of follow along with the video, then great. It's super that you are following along. But as I said, I'll put a link to all of the past papers in the description and in the comments. So yeah, and if you haven't liked or subscribed yet, please do, because I know that statistically, only 1 out of every 10 people who watches this video will like it, which is a pity because, we do work quite hard, and it doesn't cost you anything just to click a like and even comment, and that all helps the YouTube algorithm for other people to find us. So yeah, please like and subscribe. Okay, the phrase geographical origin in the last sentence of paragraph 1 refers to, okay, we know that, it's Estonia. I've been talking about Estonia the whole time. We will just double check that. So that yes. Yeah, because they're talking about the pleasant surprise because it was outside of those Western Europe and Japan and America. It's Estonia. who's developed this awesome technology. I mean, it's the lithium ion batteries, just for those interested in the science, Tesla, Elon Musk, all of those batteries that are used in the electric cars are lithium ion, which have 1,000 cycles. These capacitors have 1,000,000, so it's 1,000 times more longer lasting. So if they can ramp up this technology, it has huge benefits. And as we saw, they've already used it in diesel-powered motors and some, hopefully, in cars as well. And it's quick, so you can just recycle. So what they use is the kinetic energy from the movement of the cars gets stored as static electricity, which they can then use to power the car. So yeah, it's incredible what is being done. Okay, 45, the phrase, the excitement in the first sentence of paragraph 2 refers to the following issue mentioned in the first paragraph. Reports of new kinds of batteries and capacitors, an idea that experienced the rough and tumble, hailing from North America, Europe, and Japan. No, the surprise sought by the consumer world. Okay, so it's the reports, right? The excitement was about these new kinds of batteries and capacitors. So that's going to be A. All right. We are about 1, 2, 3. About a third. Okay, so we're going to do, let's do one more. And yeah, we'll do one more and then we'll go into this little diagram there. And so part 2, I will continue with these questions. All right. The first sentence of the paragraph 2 implies that electricity is not exclusively stored in exciting new devices, differently stored in capacitors and batteries, stored in different artifacts from capacitors, and in need of exciting new storage devices. Okay, so that was, I believe, where they were talking about how batteries stored using electrodes and capacitors are stored using electricity. We can go back and check that. Yes, so static can be, okay, so unlike batteries which store energy chemically, so in electrodes, capacitors store it physically as static. So it was indeed, I think, what I said, which was B. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's stop sharing. Okay, so thank you very much for watching part A. And again, thanks again to our members. Please like and subscribe before you go on to the next video, which I will post soon. I'll post it for the members and then later on for the rest of our subscribers. So yeah, if you do join, there's a button there that says join, and you will get first access to all of our videos. And then there are also some exclusive members only videos, as well as some other stuff coming soon. I think in the next video or the video after, I'm going to be, which will be, I think the third video I'm going to probably do, because part 3 will be exclusively for our members. And in that video, I am going to share a link to our WhatsApp group for members only, where you can ask questions about your matric exams, maths, accounting, English. We can pretty much cover all of the subjects except Afrikaans at the moment, but yeah, hopefully soon that'll come. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and we will see you soon.